Welcome to the Global Pulse, a short video series where our experts break down a trending topic in international business and why it matters to you.
The global tariff turmoil that's especially been roiling financial markets threatens to upend business investment strategy and supply chains. Motivations underlying the imposition of tariffs on many countries include improving trade policy for U.S. products and reducing global dependencies on critical products and materials, particularly with China. This is why we've seen tariffs on certain products, such as steel and aluminum, go into effect, with others under consideration, such as semiconductors and pharma products. The potential for tariffs on pharma products has far reaching implications for the entire drug supply chain, with the biggest impact on end users, namely you and me. To understand the risks and opportunities tariffs on pharma products could bring, it's worth understanding some of the current issues affecting the drug supply chain. Drug products come in various forms, but the market can largely be segmented into small molecule and biologics, the latter comprising most drugs consumed in the US, such as those that come in tablet or capsule form. When sold on the market, these products are marketed as brand or generic drug products. Brand drug products enjoy a rather lengthy period of brand protection or exclusivity and hence enjoy relatively larger profit margins. Generic drug products, on the other hand, which comprise more than 90% of all pharmacy prescriptions, face a highly competitive market where profit margins are much thinner. These differences in market and importance to consumers have major implications for the success of stabilizing drug supply chains in the US. Each drug product is made from combining active pharmaceutical ingredients, or APIs, with inert excipients, and to understand the challenges of increasing pharma manufacturing in the US requires an understanding of where these products are made. Today, over 60% of generic drugs are made in India, with the US accounting for 22% and China 3.5%. When it comes to sterile injectables, though, the US leads with a 40+% share, with India and China at 20 and 10+% respectively. Where the APIs are made for generic products, though, looks very different. According to FDA data, India, Europe, and China account for most facilities making APIs. When we look at where brand drugs are made, the story is a bit different than for generics. 50 to 60+% of brand oral solid dose and injectables are made in the US, with the EU accounting for a 30% share of both, and India and China having negligible shares. Most APIs for brand drugs are also produced in the US and the EU. So why does this matter? Whether a drug product is subject to a tariff or not depends on the country of origin. Historically, the rules for such determination relating to drug products are based on the country producing the APIs and not where the product is put into finished dosage form. With this as a backdrop, the impact of tariffs will largely depend on where the APIs are made for both brand and generic drugs. For brand drugs, where profit margins are wider, a brand drug with no competition may be able to pass along a tariff to payers, for example, pharmacies and hospitals. But for products where more than one competitor exists, particularly for generic drugs, it will be very difficult to pass along the impact of tariffs. In such cases, there is the potential for some producers to exit the market, more likely for certain generics, and hence some supply disruptions if other manufacturers do not step in. Ultimately, we're likely to see some upward pressure on brand drugs and some shortages on some generic drugs if tariffs are imposed. A key question is, could tariffs increase the domestic manufacturing of drugs in the US? Any decision by a pharma company to invest in a US manufacturing facility is based on whether the net present value over some time horizon generates a positive payoff. Such facilities take years to complete, significant permitting and regulatory approval, and can cost hundreds of millions of dollars or more to build. Given the costs and tight margins already felt by generic drug producers, it will be a steep hill to climb financially to invest in US plants. Brand drug producers may find it more financially attractive to build out more use facilities. However, for both brand and generic producers, the use of advanced manufacturing technologies, such as continuous manufacturing, could be a game changer for several reasons. First, the FDA is encouraging the use of such technology, and that support significantly reduces one of the barriers to US production of new manufacturing facilities. Equally important is the economic advantage that CM, continuous manufacturing, has over well-established batch production. Smaller equipment footprint coupled with greater automation and processing efficiency leads to lower costs of operation in the long run, greater product flexibility, and fewer defects, among other benefits. In fact, in a research study I conducted for FDA, I found that in nearly all cases, brand and even generic drug manufacturers could employ continuous manufacturing on a greater NPV basis than batch. In sum, there are many risks to pharma manufacturers as well as consumers with tariffs imposed on drug products. The possibility for some drug products to rise and others to be in shortage is real. However, encouraging more domestic production of drug products in the US is a worthwhile goal that could be realized by leveraging continuous manufacturing technology.